Been talking and listening to quite a few people, and they're talking about training to failure. Now, take away the steroid trainers. The average person in the gym rarely trains to failure. People get confused with fatigue versus failure. Fatigue is where, like, say you're doing an incline bench press and you can't get the sixth rep. If you can rest for 5 minutes and then you can go back to doing the same exercise for more reps again, you never reached muscle failure, right? Muscle fatigue is where a muscle just runs out of energy, runs out of steam, right? Muscle failure is that you cannot physically move that muscle part. It's it, it's done, it's toasted. No one rarely trains like that. So what you would do if you're doing training to failure, if you got to that point where you got to the sixth rep and you can't do the next rep, that's where you have a training partner who then helps you get another extra couple of reps. But that isn't failure. That's just we haven't reached the point of failure yet. We're still in the muscle fatigue part. So then your training partner introduces helps with negatives or positives, and then you might get 1 or 2 reps out of that. You still likelihood you haven't reached muscle failure yet. So muscle failure, then you would have to then after doing your force reps with your partner, your negatives or your positives. On top of that, then you would have to do rest pause for a couple of seconds, do a couple of more reps, and then you still likelihood that you haven't reached the point of muscle failure. You would then have to do like drop set till the point where you're probably lifting just the bar. That is muscle failure. You're taking the muscle bits beyond fatigue. No one, you don't see anyone in the gym train like that. The only people you've ever seen train like that is watch Dorian Yates' video where he takes it beyond, right? That's what you've got to do. So when you say, oh, I'm training to failure, no. Training to failure is having a training partner who forces you to do about 4 or 5 extra reps, and then you're doing other training methods to increase. So if the time you've finished your one set of 6 reps, where you think you've reached failure, you haven't. You've probably done about 15 reps, but with extremely heavy weight. That is muscle failure. So if people think that they train to failure, get a training partner, do the advanced training methods, and then see if it's the same as what you were training before. And if the answer is yes, then the likelihood that you did train to failure. But highly unlikely that people train to failure on their own. Anyway, peace out.